Welcome back. It is 6:25 here on your Throwback Thursday. It's a name many of us might not recognize, but one we definitely should know. Marianne Campana was an aviation pioneer among women, and she grew up right here in Youngstown. So today, we're getting a history lesson about it. Tracy Manning is here for Throwback Thursday. Good morning.
Good morning.
I feel like she judged me during the commercial break when I said that I hadn't heard of her before this, but it's a story worth knowing, right?
It is very much a story worth knowing. So Marianne Campana, born in Italy around 1913, moves to the United States when she's young, maybe 8, 9 years old, and settles on Youngstown's east side.
Okay.
Now, as a young girl, she loved to watch people fly. This is a time period where, you know, it's those little old open planes. You can kind of see the type of aircraft she's working with here. And she wanted to become a pilot. Now, as she tells her story, she said she had some cousins who were like, oh, you can't do that. You're just a girl. But she does it. So she starts working at a 5 and 10 cent store, saving up money. And it cost her about $15 an hour to take lessons. And she did them on Sundays. And by the age of 18, she became the first woman to receive her pilot's license in Ohio, and also the first teenager of any gender to receive a pilot's license here in Ohio.
That's incredible. And I mean, especially when you think about the era where, I mean, women typically, I mean, you hear about Amelia Earhart, but women typically didn't do something like this.
No, not at all. And Marianne would say that everyone was kind of equal as long as they really knew that they were serious about flight. And so she kind of made the airport her second home. She would do maintenance. She was constantly there, so people knew she was serious about it. And when she said, or she would say, when folks were in the air, didn't really matter who you were. And I think that's the whole idea of, like, let's just land safely. I don't care who's piloting this plane. So yeah, she remarked that, you know, once she was kind of in, she was in. And
but she did more than just, you know, kind of pave the way. She was a record setter. She was a standout.
Yeah. So this was in June of 1933. She set a world record for a light endurance flight. So this is 12 hours and 27 minutes. She's in the air. It is a foggy day. No one can see her. They actually took the parachute out of her plane so she could get an extra fuel tank in there. So she had 40 gallons of fuel. She flies for 12 hours and 27 minutes. And unfortunately, a really, really bad electrical storm forced her down, or else she would have been up there way longer.
That's incredible. And talk about believing in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is my parachute. You don't need that. That's not a big deal.
Especially in that condition.
Yes.
This horrible electrical storm. And she only used about half of her fuel, so she could have been up there for hours more.
That's incredible. And so did she know Amelia Earhart? Were they pals?
Yeah, so we know that they met each other a few times. This is right around that same time period where these early pilots are like rock star heroes. So Marianne Campana, she kind of set the stage locally here. Like you said, this was a male-dominated field. Here we have the historical marker that is dedicated to her, and she's even been honored by the Air and Space Museum. If you go down to the Udvar Hazy Air and Space Museum, which is outside the Dulles Airport in Northern Virginia, her name is right there on one of the honorary plaques.
How incredible is that? And then that's at the airport in Vienna, then, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I love it.
And if people want to learn more, just a couple years ago, we actually were reached out to from her hometown in Italy, and they were honoring her. So if anyone speaks Italian, they can watch this amazing video on YouTube. It's got wonderful images and video, and then some great Youngstown Vindicator screenshots of some of the articles about her. I just don't speak Italian, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Yet.
Not yet.
Yet.
Someday.
It's the operative word there.
Yes.
Tracy, great stuff as always. This was a good one.
Thank you.
All right, let's send things back over to Jimmy Wendell.